and welcome to the Future Makers podcast. My name is Annetta Benzar, and in each episode, I sit down with the people shaping the future of technology, business, culture, and law. Before we begin, please subscribe to the Future Media channel, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's meet our future maker. My guest today is Yiannos Georgiades, founding partner of AI Georgiades and Associates LLC, co-founder of Kinisis Ventures, and president of the Cyprus chapter of the European Court of Arbitration. Yiannos, welcome to the Future Makers podcast.
Hello, Annetta. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So before we get into, we have quite a lot of things to get into today. I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself, but introduce yourself in kind of looking at what first brought you to law and what was it that you kind of envisioned in a career as a lawyer?
Yeah. Well, very interesting question. It's a question that a lot of people ask this. But it's difficult sometimes to decide why I entered law. I always found myself as being a kind of person who likes to solve problems, and I find myself as a problem solver. And I think that that's how people should look at the law. From young kid, I remember finding myself trying to help other people when they're in trouble, one way or the other. And that was giving me a lot of pleasure, and I thought that it's nice when I saw some good results. And of course, then my father was the police force, but he was acting as a prosecutor, so I could see him working a lot with the files in the house. Then in summer I was going with him to court, and then I started thinking this as a profession. So it was a combination of maybe how I felt and matching with the profession of law. And then when I analyzed it more, I started thinking, oh, well, that's maybe a job that I can express myself and be myself. And the truth is nowadays, when people ask me, I can tell them without any doubt that I never feel this as a job. I feel like it's my hobby. So it seemed like I found what it was proper and appropriate for me, and that's it. And so I established my firm back in 92. It's been now 34 years, and I never get bored of it. It's just, I always feel excited about it, which is nice.
Yeah. What was kind of the stereotype of the lawyer, or at least the profession of the lawyer, back when you were, first choosing it? What were people's reaction to, somebody who was a lawyer?
Okay, I mean, when even myself, when I was thinking about the lawyer before I became a lawyer, I was considering somebody who is a very serious person, always dressed really formally, and reading a lot of statutes and things. Myself, I was not like that. I was actually more outgoing. I was not so serious. I was a good student, but I was not the kind of person that studies a lot. And I was not so conservative as a kind of person. I was not very conservative person. I like to experiment, to be reckless, and all these things. And somehow I was thinking, oh my God, I mean, I'm becoming a lawyer. I like to become a lawyer, but I'm not like that. I mean, I don't look like that stereotype. Would I make it? Then I realized that my characteristics were much more for the profession, because I realized very quickly that in order to be a successful lawyer, it's not enough to have knowledge. It's not enough to read a lot. It's not enough to remember a lot of things. It's a lot of elements, and it's like a cocktail. For example, I mean, you need to be sociable. You need to be very good in communication. You need to to enjoy helping people. And you must be a listener also. You must understand people's problem, and then you must be creative. You must use your imagination. I think you need to be artistic also to be a lawyer. It's not. People think that lawyers is those that study a lot and they a lot of books, but this is not the case. It's not enough.
And it's also a lot about like building trust with your clients or, with potential clients. And I think that kind of goes into also your other, I guess, more the other side of you of, you're a co-founder of Kinisis Ventures. And there, between like the investor and the person, the team you're investing in, there also needs to be a lot of communication as well and trust. What was it that made you kind of not stick 100% in law, but also kind of dabble into investment? Where did you feel that the profession of law needed a bit of more diversity?
Yeah. To be honest, I realized very soon after I finished law and I started working that basically people come to you to solve problems, business problems, family problems, crises, different kind of problems. But through the years, I acquired a lot of business clients and corporations, and I very soon I realized that when I was discussing with them, I was not acting just as a lawyer. I was acting as also as a advisor for their business, for how to establish your business, how to build things. And also you find yourself as a lawyer to be like a psychologist sometimes also, and to a motivator also. So it's just kind of a package, which matching a lot with solving the issues of business people, starting from establishing their business or when they are in trouble during after the establishment of their business. And when with my friend Andreas, who is my partner from US, we were together since childhood. We were from nursery school together. He asked me whether we could do a business accelerator in Cyprus. Of course, he came to me being a lawyer and knowing the market here to give him my opinion. And I was excited when he gave me this idea. I thought it was a great idea. And I could see that it's matching also with what I'm already doing. It's not just the logistics of establishing a business accelerator or as a lawyer or as or a fund and the regulatory part of it. It's also the matter of, as you said, trust and creating an environment where you can again help business to grow through the accelerator and then later on through the regulated fund which we establish. And I can see even now that it is matching a lot this combination. My personality, being outgoing and also being a person that likes to be creative and contribute in the growth of business or to help my country to and my ecosystem, the need to do that. It helped a lot in not only contributing in other people growing, but also to is fulfilling for me as a person, since I feel that I'm doing something that I like. And it's also I use my experience as myself a business person who has managed and grown businesses in the legal sector, but also all the experiences and I acquired through liaising with so many different kind of business people all these years. And I realized that at the end of the day, it helped this experience I had without even realizing that it would be matching with what we decided to do with Andreas at that time. And now here we are.
Yeah. And I like how you were able to kind of adapt the skills, you learned as a lawyer into kind of what would seem like a very different sector, but it feels like there's a lot of crossover.
Yes. It's very fascinating, and I feel very privileged that I've been kind of a generation that I witnessed and went through this journey of exponential evolution of technology, because it has been growing so fast. We went from the moment where, as a kid, we didn't even have a normal phone at the house, and then going to the fax machines and internet. In fact, I was a student when we realized that we can enter a database through the modem at that time, and then go to LexisNexis, which is a database that is thriving now. But it was one of the, even back in 87, 86, 87, we were trained to use LexisNexis. So we went from one extreme to the other, which started growing fast. And here we are now with AI, but we are actually at the threshold of AGI also, which is another interesting subject. We need to look forward. But I believe that people now think that they didn't realize that we are already using AI and generally in our life, but also in the legal profession. A lot of lawyers are using it, and very big law firms are using it. I was lucky to attend the Harvey Forum in London a few months ago, and I realized that there's so many people, big law firms with 1,000 partners and lawyers from US, from UK. They've been using the Harvey, which is an interface they're using foundation model like ChatGPT and that, but they have an amazing interface. It's a wrapper, but it's not. It's actually one that is an example as a wrapper because they have substance. That's why. And then we need to understand that we need to adapt and use AI instead of fighting it or worrying about it. And this is my opinion. I'm one of these lawyers that I think that is making our life easier to have this tool available now.
So what has been the biggest conflict within the legal sector? Why has there been so much pushback by other legal professionals against using artificial intelligence?
It's the fear of the unknown. And also people always, it's just a kind of a normal reaction when things are evolving with technology generally in life. Before it was an industrial evolution that made people think that they would lose their jobs and everything. Then it was the internet. These things didn't happen as people were describing them. And then it's the AI. I always say that, not just me, a lot of people say that it's a correct thing, it's a cliche now, but it's the truth that we shouldn't really worry about AI taking over. We should worry about those lawyers or any other professionals that they are not ahead with this and they don't know about AI. And then they can, be replaced by those who do know it. So this is the fear they should have, some people, the ignorance. If they don't really try to learn AI, they shouldn't be threatened, lawyers, by AI. It's because things are changing always, and the new things are rising as a result of the change. It's a shift from a different kind of work to another work. And what is changing, in my opinion, is that knowledge doesn't have so much value anymore, in a sense that now you can distinguish the creative and lawyer, the lawyer who has a good judgment, a lawyer who can be trusted and is accountable, from that one that only knows how to read books and just retrieve knowledge because now it's done very fast. So basically, if we use our common sense, it's facilitating us by saving a lot of time in retrieving knowledge, which doesn't have so much of a skill as when you have to be solving problems through using your judgment or to be ethical to create trust. And then it saves you so much time that you can spend more quality time on this, how to solve the problem, rather than spending all the time to do the research. And this was clear from the very beginning when LexisNexis and Westlaw started, where people were using the internet to do legal research through curated data rather than going to the open source in the web and looking there where you could find things that they were not right. So what did we do before? We actually moved from the books because even I went through this stage before we could do a research on the internet. We would sit in our office, get all the books, the indexes, check through them, the keywords, and then open the right page to find the right information, to copy, and then read it again, and all these things. But then when through the internet and databases like LexisNexis and Westlaw, as lawyers, we forgot about the books, although I like the books, but because it was so fast to go and do a research in the internet, retrieve the case law and the articles quickly, go through them, and then do your submissions or your opinion or do your drafting much quicker. So what changed now? What changed now is that not only AI helps us to find case law and articles, is intelligent enough to go through them and summarize them and give you also a kind of information that is not, and give you their opinion, give you their submissions, legal submissions, or give you a contract. So it saves you a lot of time and then gives you the chance to go through it again and customize it accordingly to the needs of your client. By going through this, as I explained to you now, you can easily see that it doesn't really replacing the lawyers. It's just making lawyers working faster, giving faster solutions. And you'll still need the juniors and the other people who will go through these tools to bring you something, which then you will, again, as a senior, advise them or correct it before you give it to your client.
Of course.
This is how I look at it.
You mentioned Harvey a while ago, and they were recently reportedly valued at around 11 billion. What does a valuation like that tell you about how investors and the market are reading the future of legal service?
Yeah, it's very good because, okay, why 8 billion? Why? I mean, somebody could probably say that, what is Harvey? I mean, Harvey is basically using ChatGPT, Gemini, and all this. They have them all. So they use the foundation models. And if it was just that, they wouldn't have any value. People would consider this as a wrapper, which investors don't like this. And us also in our fund, when we see a lot of pitches, most of them recently, they base everything on AI. But what differentiates the one that has value with the one that doesn't is exactly the example of Harvey. Because Harvey, basically, they have a combination of foundation model with legal expertise. They have also proprietary workflows. And also they have trusted relationships. And they have also specialized data because they got it from different law firms which they're not out there. And also they have a deep integration with how lawyers work. If I'm not mistaken, about 30 or 40% of their people are lawyers. So you understand the difference. The difference is that they gave a very good interface that is working. And then that's why there's such a value, and also gives you the message that the investors and the industry now, they think highly of initiatives like this. And a lot of people invest on legal tech, and they also do this with a view of the next evolution of from moving from AI to AGI, which again is another subject that which will create other issues about autonomy and everything. I don't know how fast it will be done, but if we think that things are developing exponentially and not in a linear way, we may be surprised. We may be surprised as to how fast things will go.
But in those cases, who would be then responsible for the output? Because it sounds like you're working. I mean, we don't even need AGI. I think it's a little bit further ahead. But now is where the law stands for the output that you create together with any AI tool. Who is responsible for the output, and who owns the output?
Yes, this is raising also a lot of more questions. Even these questions are arising now, and it's who is the creator? Is it because it's a mixture of technology and human? Who is the creator? But what I can tell you is that until now, you cannot really protect IP if it's not created by human. So if it's created by artificial intelligence, then it cannot be patented or it cannot be copyrighted. And there is also a case on this that somebody tried to do it through different countries, but they rejected it because it did a model that it was registering patents for it. It's doing its own innovations, and they attempted to register it on the name of the actual AI, the model, not on the human. But it was rejected, apart from one country, I think. They accepted it. But all the other countries, they rejected it. But here, I always give an example on this for people to understand. There's a difference between the person who is actually giving a command, general command, and in ChatGPT and to create something. For example, I'm using I found this example that I like of a painter who has an apprentice, and an experienced painter is the canvas there, the apprentice, the paints, the brushes, and then he thinks of a picture to paint, and then he's asking the apprentice, instead of doing himself, to get the one brush, do this line, do this color, do this, and goes on, and then he creates a very nice painting, which was actually the painting that the painter visualized. But it was done through the apprentice, and the painter is a human, and the apprentice is the AI. So in this case, the question is, who is the author? And my answer to this is the painter. It's not the AI. It's done through the AI, but it was him who guided him, and it was his idea. So it could be protected because it has enough evidence. You can prove that this is a human who created it, and not the AI. And then if you compare this with the other situation where it's a lazy painter who says, paint me a painting with blue sky and sea with a boat, in this case, I think the apprentice would be the one who will create it. And in this case, it's the AI, and then it wouldn't be protected. So there are these gray areas that it gives more thought and it gives more work for lawyers. And to be creative and even modify the laws to adapt it to the needs of these peculiarities that the AI has, or AGI will have later on. To show, first of all, that is how we use the AI that matters, and not the AI itself that is a problem. So if we use it in a orchestrated way, in a way that we guide it and use it to give us the results, it's something that it's good and beneficial. But if we don't check it, if we just ask him and then receive things and we present them, we end up exposed, like in these legal cases that everybody came across recently of hallucinations, as they call them, because lawyers presented case law that never existed because they never checked it. It can put you into trouble, it can expose you, but also it will not. It will prevent you from having value of what you created, because first of all, you will not be able to protect it. Investors would never be interested in you because there's no value in what you created. Therefore, it's like you decided to use something to pretend that you create something, but at the end of the day, you created nothing. So it's up to you. It's how people use it at the end of the day.
So if we're going to talk about like within like the work or your office setting, everything you create, whether that is even your chat history, any data that you're putting in, any work output through AI, let's say you want to leave the firm. Who owns that data? Is there any practice in place right now that gives ownership to the, I guess, creator, or is it all owned by the company in whose setting you were, creating?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, whatever data that you create within your law firm, which is basically your work in a sense of creating legal submissions, drafting documents, letters, exchanging of emails, and opinion giving, all this actually belonging to the firm. So you have a value, and this is what I was saying earlier about proprietary workflows and proprietary specialized data. So if you do have this, now by knowing that you have the AI as a tool, we could connect the AI models with your data, which is curated data that other people don't have. So it's like a unique asset that you have and nobody else has exactly the same as you. And this is why they say that it's good to create digital twin. So you can, by how you create a digital twin. The digital twin can be created by going again through this data, how you behave through your law firm or as a lawyer, which is your identity. And then it can benefit everybody else who's coming from you. And then it's like, and then of course, this kind of thing is your property. So you need to license other people to get it. So this is why we say that it's more important the data rather than the technology, because investors are looking on this, on the data sets. They're always asking. We are asking people to say, startups, where did you find your data? What source did you use? Open source? Were you obliged to disclose the code? Because if yes, then it's not much value. Did you infringe other people's copyright? Did you check that? Okay, you might say people think that they can use anything in the internet to train their models, but a lot of even big companies realize that they were in trouble doing that, and they pay billions of fines. And and we need to understand that now there is legislation in place. Apart from having a directive concern relating to how one can use data as long as is accessing them lawfully. So if it's for research, for example, it can be used if you have lawful access to the data, of course. That's a tricky word, lawful access. But even for any other general purpose, there is another section in the relevant directive, the DSM, known as DSM directive, that you can use data even for commercial purpose. You can do data mining. But you must be careful because some companies, they are opting out. So when they are available, their data on the web, they opt out and they say that they're not allow anybody to use it. So you must be careful to see that and then get a license, because if you don't get a license, you'll be fined. And nowadays, the AI Act, which is gradually implemented and it will be fully implemented, they're hoping 2027, it has a relevant provision there, if I remember well, it's Article 53, which it does two things. First of all, it obliges the companies to have a copyright policy to show that you are not infringing anybody's copyright. And the other one is you're obliged to disclose all the information of how you got your data, you train your model. So it's forcing you to disclose all the information and details, so it can be clearly seen if you didn't do it correctly, whether you are infringing or not somebody else's data. And okay, what it means, all this, of course, is the importance of the companies nowadays that they either developing AI or using AI to be aware of this, in order to avoid not only penalties but also liability. And I go one step further and I say that it's not enough just to worry about liability and penalties. You should appreciate this new development and consider it as a tool of being more competitive by doing your correct governance. So even if you're not obliged, it's a nice way of marketing your company by showing that because of this and this and this, we as company, we are having policies and governance to protect the data of our clients, to avoid any leaking of information. We are actually respecting the copyrights of other people, and we have our own copyright that we can protect, and all these things. So companies should think in this way. They should think that they could utilize this need of creating trust to differentiate them from other companies and implement kind of policies that they show that they are in a good status when it comes to how they use AI.
Okay, so you've been talking about foundational models. Is it safer for a company, and not only talking about like a legal tech company, but we can focus on legal tech companies, to use a foundational model or try to build their own? And I'm talking about like protecting their data, making sure they're within like regulation, safety, risk, and continue, building trust with their clients who, may not be as confident or trusting if they know that the data they're, providing to the company may be, then put into a foundational model, which then they don't have as much control over what happens.
Well, foundation models is very difficult to build because it needs a lot of energy, it needs a lot of kind of funding. And when we speak about foundation models, it's exactly ChatGPT, Gemini, and all these things. So it's of course good to, and I'm sure that there will be more foundation models created. And foundation models, of course, is even in other fields like Uber is a foundation model. People should start thinking of having as an asset to use their data. If they're lawyers, it's all this I described earlier. If they're doctors at a diagnostic center, imagine having a diagnostic center which had so many clients through the years and had so many scans, compare with somebody who hasn't got access to this and creates a nice platform for diagnostics by using technology or using code algorithms and using maybe ChatGPT or whatever, it would not have any, cannot be compared with this diagnostic center, which, let's say, even if it didn't have technology, it had so many tens of thousands of scans, which are is their property. So it's a proprietary kind of data. So then what these people could do. These people, by using technology and being innovative, either themselves or by using internally, internal team, or by using external outsourcing, can build for them an innovative kind of platform that it could be not only good for them, but also it could be scalable and it can be sold or be attractive to investors. So I think a lot of industries now and business in different financial, health, law, insurance, criminal investigators, copyright lawyers, patent lawyers. It's important to use their legal experience and identify a problem and see how technology can help them, and they can create their own interfaces by using their own data, plus have access to curated data.
Well, since technology is moving so fast, regulation is not kind of keeping up. And I think that's the biggest critic against the EU AI Act. Even though it's one of its kind in the world, a lot of people think it's, one, too strict or not strict enough. How can we keep up with, protecting the safety of people and a lot of their concerns, and giving them that feeling of safety, while still keeping up with regulation and not being 5 years behind when technology, is changing so rapidly?
It's very difficult to achieve this because the laws usually take longer to change, and but technology goes fast. But this is the importance, I said earlier, of having from the very beginning of creating something together as a team, the lawyers and the technical people, technology people. Of course, again, it's not a matter of being obliged to be careful and avoid problems. You should be thinking that you should do that because you should it's helping you to differentiate from other people. But when it comes to the laws, it's very difficult because they're outdated. By the time that new things come along, maybe in the actual legislation or the AI Act in Europe now, might be things that are not relevant anymore or that needs to be added. And of course, over-regulation sometimes is killing technology. And I think this is the balance they're trying to do now, although AI Act is one of the strictest and one piece of legislation that exists. In other countries, there is a lot of legislation, but sometimes is depending on the country, is more flexible or is differently approached. AI, I would say, is maybe the only one that is one solid, one piece of legislation that includes everything. But even in that case, they acknowledge the need of technology improving and not killing it. So they started, although they came into force, they implemented it gradually. So some articles came up in force in 2025, then some of them now 2026. They delay the full enforcement until 2027. And I think one of the reasons is this, to allow the industry to adapt according to the development of technology without worrying too much. But one idea I had myself that it can solve this problem is why not using AI again to help in the quick amendments of the law according to how the evolution of technology is taking place. And what I mean for this is just an idea, is the idea of having, let's say, a piece of legislation that is a general legislation, but within that, it gives the ability of AI to, according to the changes of technology, to change and amend the regulations, the laws, which will be, of course, supervised by a human. So instead of going back to the parliament to vote something, it will give this platform, AI platform, the authorization and the validity of changing rules. This is happening already manually, in a sense that one legislation, which is a general, it gives the ability of creating regulations by a certain institution of the country and be valid. And then it gives also to a specific minister the ability to issue circulars or rules that are valid. Or, for example, SciSec can make some directives which are valid along the way according to the power is given from the law. And they're valid, and there is no need to be legislated again, because it's already given the statutory authority to these humans who are not legislators, but they are in the government, to create rules. So I was thinking, why, in the same way, think of a platform of AI, which is specialized in having all the data sets trained as a model. We will have the ability and be so fast to change along the way and issue some rules, which will be changing the way that is regulating the specific development of technology.
And I think that seems to be the only solution, to be honest.
Yes.
Because I don't think humans are going to be able to keep up with the technology.
No.
You can only match technology with technology.
Yes. And then, of course, I don't say that it will be completely autonomous.
Of course.
But it will be certified. So it will be issued quickly, checked, customized, and valid, which will be will be actually confirmed by the relevant department. So if, for example, each country has its own deputy ministry or ministry of, like we have in Cyprus, of innovation technology. So it's a relevant department. It will be under their authority. There will be a platform there that will be doing this job. And then it will be endorsed and confirmed by the relevant officers that they will be in charge of this.
Lovely.
And this is maybe a solution.
It is a solution, and I think those in authority should really start taking it into consideration because, I think I cannot think of a different solution that will be able to actually have some kind of beneficial or advantage.
Yeah. And also we can, as Cyprus, we can maybe be pioneers on this. We always underestimate ourselves. We are a small country, but we have a lot of talented people. And our government is trying to be ahead with technology the last few years. Even myself, I was privileged enough to be asked pro bono to help as an ad hoc committee for the task force, AI task force that it was created by the government and run by Chief Scientist Yiannos Georgiades. Apart from the official task force, he had the idea to involve private people, and I was very flattered that he asked me to provide a report on and give an idea of how to create the circumstances where Cyprus can be a hub for AI, and I did provide a report on this, which was the idea. He did also with different other sectors. There was a legal part, then they did it with medical and others, to put it incorporate it in the full report for the policy of the government for the AI for 2030. And what I focus on that is basically the idea of filling in the gaps in a way of copyright and also the data issues of a model. So I was thinking that if we find a way that our government create a body that it could, by presumption, provide certificate of clearance of data and copyright. So, and what I mean by that is exactly what we discussed earlier, the idea of who created this. So, is it registrable? This body would probably check the way that it was created by using foundation model something, and whether it qualifies to be registered, in a sense that it was not done in a way of that lazy painter, as I said, who only gave one prompt. So that would be the authority that the people could apply by providing all their evidence and showing that, yes, it's humanly created this. And then when it comes to data, because again, the AI Act has Article 53, which obliges people to now disclose the data, how and from where they receive the data sets that they train their model. It will be again a clearance kind of way of giving a certificate, which again it could be rebuttable maybe if somebody finds out the opposite, but it will be a kind of incentive of a lot of startups and innovative companies that they're based on AI to come to our country, because we'll be the first ones to create a kind of a certification process on this specialized area, and not just the company registrar or the trademark registrar that you do stereotype trademarks or writing patents. This will be a specialized for AI orientated kind of ideas. And also it could be a way to certify your product by qualifying or for other responsibilities, because now the AI will oblige to have watermarks.
Yeah.
So, because people are asking, how do we know that this was created by AI or just it was a human creation? And you will be obliged when you create anything to have watermarks, so people can see.
Yeah, and it's already kind of implemented on some of the social media platforms.
Yes. So my idea was that because it's not existing in, as far as I know, in Europe yet, a kind of a certification process for this kind of thing, we could be the first ones to do it. And once, because we are a European country, we could then find a way by informing the European Commission about what we're doing, by liaising and informing them about this, that we do a pilot on this, and we'll be the first ones to accept it, because they don't have a choice. In my opinion, if something is created in one European country that is working and is kind of a certification office, they don't have a choice by accepting it in the whole Europe.
Yeah.
So from the moment that it's also endorsed by the European Union, it's like Cyprus is creating a kind of a certificate that it can be used in whole Europe, and we'll be the first ones to do that. And I couldn't think of any other idea when it comes to creating an incentive relating to the AI policy, of course, and that's why I found the gaps that exist and they haven't been dealt with, and creating a kind of an authority that will do that.
Perfect. Yiannos, it has been a pleasure. I feel like I could pick your brain for hours and hours and hours, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please subscribe to the Future Media channel, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.